you go through with the national income, you should divide it into subtopics. Only when you divide it into subtopics, then only you can understand what is national income. I will be speaking something about GDP. What is GDP? Not abbreviation. What exactly GDP? Final goods and services produced in a geographical area. Okay. So now as far as the GDP is concerned, again there is something called GNP. If you can go through with the Telangana Economic Survey, there is something called GSVA. This is even more little. There is something called GSVA. Have you heard about what is GSVA? Gross State Value Addition. And we have something called GVA. What is GVA? Gross Value Addition. Why do we calculate GVA when there is actually GDP, GNP, NNP? Now, yeah, as part of the national income is concerned, from 2014-15 onwards, national income is actually calculated as GVA at basic price. Earlier we used to calculate national income at NNP. NNP at factor cost. Now we are calculating national GVA at basic price. Now see, when I go through with the national income, there are 25 to 30 subtopics. There are 25 to 30 subtopics. If you can complete these 25 to 30 subtopics, then we can actually completing the national income. If you can go through with the previous year questions of the national income, as part of the mains is concerned, most of the questions are very easy in nature. Second thing, most of the questions are statistical in nature. Suppose if you can go through with the 2016-17 re-examination paper, there was a question called what is the growth trends of India? Growth trends of India from 2014-15 to 16-17 at constant prices. This was the question. Growth trends of India from 2014-15 to 2016-17 at constant price. If this is the question, then you are supposed to be in a position to write about the constant growth rate in 2014-15, again the constant growth rate in 2015-16, again the constant growth rate in 2016-17 also. Which means, without knowing the numbers of the 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, this particular question cannot be completed. This particular question cannot be completed. That means, mains does not merely mean writing a particular sentence. Mains does mean writing a particular sentence based on a particular number also. So you should be in a position to remember the numbers also as part of the national income. And you will be asked regarding the GDP, GNP, NNP, GDP, GNP, NNP, at constant price, at current price, the growth rates, the contributions, all the things will be asked as part of your national income is concerned. Again, there is something called methodology to calculate national income. We have newly adopted so many formulas. Then there is something called what was happened before independence as far as the national income calculation is concerned, and what happened after independence as far as the national income calculation is concerned. What is the relationship between CSO? What is CSO? Yes, Central Statistical Office. Works under which ministry? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Now there is something called NSSO. What is the basic relationship between CSO and NSSO? There is another thing called NSO. Now CSO plus NSSO could become NSO, National Statistical Office. Why there was an establishment of the National Statistical Office? Then you will be asked regarding the difference between GDP, GNP, NNP, GVA. You will be given 4 options. Write few words about GDP, GNP, NNP and GVA. What is GDP at constant price? What is GNP at current price? Again you will be asked regarding what is GVA at basic price. Again you will be asked regarding what is per capita income, personal disposable income, private income, what is production tax, what is production subsidy. Then you will be asked regarding what are the limitations on calculation methodology of the national income. Even though this 75 years of the independence could evolve with a methodology to calculate national income, still we have so many limitations as far as the national income calculation is concerned. Because when UPA has calculated the national income, the methodology to calculate the national income has been revised by the NDA. Now there is a conflict between methodology to calculate the national income. Okay, now we should have the conceptual clarity over what was the methodology followed by the UPA, what is the methodology followed by the NDA. We should write about the review on it. We should take a decision which methodology is actually internationally standard. There is something called System of National Accounting, SNA, which is actually adopted by the government of India to calculate the national income. Like this, as part of the national income, we need to go through with the conceptual clarity parallelly with the numbers. I should know what is the growth pattern of India. What is India's growth pattern now? Last year, because of the pandemic, India wanted to achieve V-shaped growth rate. Have you heard about V-shaped growth rate? India's growth rate has fallen like this, -7.5. We wanted to achieve 11% growth rate in the last financial year, which has not been done. Now we should know what were the reasons behind not achieving the V-shaped growth rate which was actually estimated or projected by the government of India. Now we have a target of achieving $5 trillion of economy. Now you will be asked regarding, is it possible to achieve $5 trillion of economy in this particular growth phase? So these kind of the analytical questions can also be asked. I am just giving you an orientation, need not worry. Okay, even if you don't know about ABC of economy, it doesn't matter. Okay, we will be dealing each and every phenomenon as far as the economy is concerned. Okay, even if you are coming with without knowing ABCD of economy, we will be dealing. Okay, now you will be asked regarding why India has adopted the private investment oriented growth instead of savings oriented growth. So these kind of the conceptual questions which have been discussed by the government of India can also be asked, because the chief economic advisor will always suggesting to the government of India to adopt some theories, to adopt some methodologies, to adopt some models. If India actually adopts them, could it be possible to reach the expected projections? So most of the times we don't actually meet. Now you'll be asked regarding to state the reasons behind not meeting a particular projection or a particular target. So these kind of the questions will be asked as far as your mains national income chapter is concerned. We can actually expect where exactly the question would come. And you will not be having overall choice in the mains. What is overall choice? What is overall choice? What is overall choice? Overall choice means out of the whole paper 4 does mean economy and development. Paper 4 will be having 15 questions in number. Okay, 5 questions from each part. 5 questions from Indian economy, 5 questions from Telangana economy, 5 questions from developmental economy, which is also known as the part 3. Now, each question, suppose if there is a question from national income, there will be a guarantee question from national income, because there are 5 questions in part 1, 5 questions would come from part 1 and each question would come from each chapter. Now national income, there is one question A and there is another question called B. Now you will be having a choice to select one between these two questions. Either you should write to the A or either you should write to the B. That's it. You can't leave the national income, can go for the next chapter. As national income is a tough chapter, I can skip the national income and I can go for the next chapter. Okay. If you are a BTech student, there are 80 marks to the annual exam. Okay. Out of 80, you should write 8 questions. Okay. If you are writing 3 questions, you are passed. Then you can skip the remaining 5 questions, which is not workable in the group 1. You must go through with the group 1. You don't have the overall choice. That means out of 15 questions you are supposed to write, you will be given 30 questions only. So out of 30 questions, you will be having only internal choice. You will be having only internal choice, not the external choice. External choice means out of the 30 questions, you are not allowed to write any 15 questions. No. Out of 2 questions, you should select one. Again, out of 2 questions, you should select one on next chapter. Again, out of 2 questions, you should select one between the next chapter. Only this particular phenomenon is given, nothing else. That is the reason why skipping a particular chapter is not actually advisable as far as the mains is concerned. Okay. Now, next chapter, what is your next chapter in group 1? As far as the Indian economy is concerned? Yes. The next chapter is poverty and unemployment. Most important chapter. As far as your second chapter is concerned, even today, as far as the poverty is concerned, as far as the unemployment is concerned, you must go through with the conceptual clarity again. Because as far as the poverty is concerned, you will not be asked much about the numbers. You will not be asked much about the numbers. Because what was the last poverty statistics could come into India? Which number you should actually remember? What is India's poverty now? What is India's poverty? We say that most of the Indian people are under poverty, below poverty line. What percentage of the people fall below poverty line? Which is 21.9% of the Indian population fall below poverty line. BPL. Now see, this 21.9%, the number has been released in 2011-12 only. The last number which was released in 2011-12. Now since 2011-12 till 2021-22, you need not remember any other number except this particular number. This 21.9%, again there will be different numbers for rural, different numbers for urban. If I can go back, again you will be asked regarding what methodology has been used to calculate this 21.9. So as part of the poverty is concerned, again you will be asked regarding the conceptual questions, because there is no such higher data, or there is no such current data about the poverty. So you will be asked regarding definition of the poverty. What is poverty? How do we define? Standard of life. Any other thing? Yeah. Any other thing as far as the poverty is concerned? Accessible to basic necessities. The question is, what is basic necessity? I don't have internet access. Can I be considered as poor? No. Second question. What was the basic necessity, or what is the basic necessity of a person having more than 60 years? What is the most basic necessity of a person aging above 60? What exactly he needs? Is it unique for all the people who are aged above 60? Is it standard? What is the age of KCR? More than 60, right? What is his basic need? Power. There is a person called Haribhushan, AP governor, who is aged above 85. Okay, who is the governor of AP. What is his basic need? Second thing, there is a person called 60 years and above, there is a woman. Are the basic needs of women and men both are same? No. Again, there is something called a person called aged between 15 to 25. Are the basic needs of this particular person same? There is a difference, right? Are the basic needs of Andhra Pradesh people and Telangana people are same? Yes or no? Yes sir? No. We need biryani, we need paya, they need sambar, they need idli. Okay? They have different kind of or the basic needs of Kashmiri people and Telangana people are same? Or the basic needs of Arunachal Pradesh people and Telangana people are same? Or the basic needs of men and women are same? No. Basic needs of 1990s and 2022 are the same? I told you the last poverty statistics could come in 2011-12. After then there are no poverty statistics. Now can I ask you, the poverty measured on the basis of 2011-12, and this was measured actually 2004-5 circumstances, more than 15 years. Now can I say that the basic needs of 11-12 are the same with the 2021-22? No. Basic needs of different times are different, different ages are different, different genders are different. Are the basic needs of third gender same with the men and women? No. Then how do we actually define the poverty on the basis of basic needs? This will be your mains question. This will be your mains question. Define poverty. Now most of the people will start writing, poverty is defined as, okay, inaccessible to the basic needs of the human being, such as clothes, such as shelter, such as food. First sentence is over, 20 words is over. Do you think that you will be given marks? No. Because basic needs is the basis to define the poverty has gone. It is a 4th class, 5th class definition, which we will generally read. Now we have come to a stage where you should go through with the scientific methodology to calculate the poverty. In India, to calculate the poverty, we take something called the poverty line, PL, poverty line. Now, drawing a poverty line in India is the most difficult phenomenon even today, even after 75 years of the independence. Even today, India is not in a position to define what is poverty. India is not in a position to define who is poor. There is no one to define who is poor. That is the reason why when India does not have the methodology to define about what is poverty, what is poor, who is poor, how do you actually expect that the poverty can be eliminated? Now the government is giving some freebies. The government is giving some schemes to alleviate the poverty. Now my question is, who is the targeted person? Who is the beneficiary? Now the government is unable to identify the beneficiary. Government is unable to identify the beneficiary. Government does not have the formula. Government is still struggling with the evolution of the formula to define about the poverty. So these kind of the deeper understandings are required as far as the poverty is concerned. Definition of the poverty. What is poverty? Then what is poverty line? What is poverty line basket, which is also known as the poverty line basket, which is also known as the actual basic needs of a particular human being. If I am speaking about the particular human being does not merely mean men. Human being does not merely mean woman. There is a third gender. Human being does not merely mean a young personality. It may be a children. It may be a baby. It may be an old person. That is the reason why poverty line basket, defining about the poverty line basket, which also comprises of the basic needs of the human being, matters a lot in India. Even today, there have been so many committees to define what is poverty line basket. Still, there has not been any conclusion. When Mantek Singh Ahluwalia, who is this person, was the vice chairman of the Planning Commission of India, who was the last vice chairman of the Planning Commission of India, has defined the poverty line as 27 rupees to the rural area. 27 rupees to the rural area as the poverty line. What does this mean? If somebody is not in a position to earn or spend at least 27 rupees in the rural area, is considered to be poor. Okay? What is this definition? If somebody who is not in a position to spend 27 in a particular day. Suppose if I am spending 28 rupees in a day, do I be considered poor person or above poverty line? Above poverty line, because I am able to spend 27 rupees. Do you think that the rural population or rural poor will be able to spend this 27 rupees in a day? He has defined this poverty in 2011-12. Okay. Now, even the rural population can spend at least 50 to 80 rupees in a particular day to purchase the vegetables, to purchase the rice, if I take the average expenditure. That means most of the people who are supposed to be considered as the poor can be thrown out of the poverty and can be said above poverty line, because you are not poor. Government sanctions benefits only to the below poverty line people. Now lakhs of the people who have been thrown out of the poverty. Poverty eradication can be done by introducing visionary schemes. But Mantek Singh Ahluwalia has sanctioned or thrown most of the people out of the poverty by drawing a lower level of the poverty line. Suppose, is this line bigger line or smaller line? We can't say. We can't say. Okay? Now you can say, is line A bigger or B bigger? A. Now, C bigger. What did he do? He has drawn the poverty line like this, and he said that the poverty of the India has been reduced. So these kind of the experiments have been done as far as the poverty is concerned. That is the reason why Mantek Singh Ahluwalia has been criticized as far as the poverty definition is concerned. Later, Rangarajan committee has been constituted. Even Rangarajan committee has not defined what is poverty. Like this, as far as the poverty line is concerned, as far as the poverty line basket is concerned, we need to grow, okay, we need to go through the deeper understandings. Then, there is something called relative poverty and absolute poverty. Relative poverty and absolute poverty. What is absolute poverty? Absolute poverty means whatever we have discussed till now, which is known as the absolute poverty. Now, relative poverty does mean measuring the inequality among the people. Suppose there is something called Mukesh Ambani. Is he rich or poor? Mukesh Ambani. Net worth is 3 lakh crores. 3 lakh crores means the total budgets of AP and Telangana. Telangana budget is 2.5 lakh crores. Okay. Now, this Mukesh Ambani, if he is compared with the Jeff Bezos, who is one of the richest personalities of the world, whose net worth is 10 lakh crores. Now, there is something, okay, there is someone called GVK, who is also a rich personality, but whose income is only 10,000 crores assume. Now, when I compare this 10,000 crores with the 10 lakh crores of the Jeff Bezos, GVK looks to be poor. Now comparing two personalities, comparing some section of the population with the other section of the population is said to be the inequality among the people. Now in India, 90% of the wealth generated is actually owned by 1%. If 90 rupees is actually earned by the India, only 1% people will own it. Okay? That means 90% of the wealth generated is going only in the hands of the 1%. We should go through with the calculation of inequality in India. We should also go through with the methodology to calculate the poverty again. There are so many methods to calculate the poverty, such as head count ratio, such as relative ratio, such as sane index. We have so many methods. We should also go through with the reasons behind poverty. We should also go through with the solutions of the poverty. We should also go through with the government interventions or initiatives to reduce the poverty since independence, even today. And we should also study about why government is not in a position to eradicate the poverty even after 75 years of the independence. What exactly are the hurdles? Recently, Indian government has propagated something called universal basic income. What is universal basic income? Direct money. Is there any problem? What is the problem? Now KCR is also giving direct money, right? In the form of Raitu Bandhu. Is there any problem? Union government is also giving direct money. Why can't universal basic income be? Okay? The one of the umbrella program, instead of giving money or instead of giving freebies? This will be a question. Have you read something about what is happening in Sri Lanka? What is happening? Food crisis. Now, if they want to buy an apple, they need to spend 1,000 rupees. Okay? Why this kind of the situation occurs? Now, these kind of the questions would arise as far as the initiatives taken by the government of India to provide some freebies or to reduce the poverty in the society. So we should go through with all these deeper understandings. Now there is something called another chapter called unemployment. What is unemployment? What is unemployment? Yeah, you are correct only. Now see, unemployment does mean it has a deeper levels of the definition, such as unemployment has some characteristics, such as which age should actually be considered. Suppose if an old person who is aged above 60 is trying for job. Now he did not get any job. Can we consider him as unemployed? Can we consider him as unemployed or not? 60. Suppose leave about 60. A 95-year-old guy wants to work. He doesn't get any job. Can we consider him as the employed? 60 years above? 75? Now there is a person called 14 years guy who is trying for job but didn't get any job. Can we consider him as the unemployed? Why? See, to consider someone whether employee or unemployed, we need to take labor force, okay, which is in between 15 to 59 years. Labor force. That means the person who is aged in between 15 to 59 years. Another question. There is a person called 25 years old. He is not trying for job and he didn't get any job. Can we consider him as the unemployed? No? Yes or no? He is not trying. He wants a job can come him. Okay, he's not trying, he's not actually keeping some efforts. See, unemployment does win. Suppose somebody is trying, somebody is in the age group of 15 to 59 years, but he is not in a position to get the job as he expects. He is expecting much higher salary. Can we consider, suppose if I am expecting 2 lakh rupees per month, but I have been offered with the 1.5 lakh or 1 lakh rupees. Can I be considered as the unemployed? No, yes sir. Yes or no? I am trying for job. I am in the age group of 15 to 59 years old. Now I don't get any job because I expect more salary. Can I be considered as the employee? Can I get some water? Excuse me. See, as far as the definition of the unemployment is concerned, a person must be in the age group of 15 to 59 years old. He or she should be trying for the work at an existing wages. I am not expecting much than which is being existing. So, even if somebody does not get any job, then he or she is considered to be unemployed. Now, as far as the unemployment is concerned, as far as the unemployment is concerned, you will be asked regarding definition. You will be asked regarding the characteristics of unemployment. You will be asked regarding the types of the unemployment. There are 10 to 12 types of the unemployment are there. You will be asked regarding methodology to calculate the unemployment. You will be asked regarding the general terminology used in unemployment, such as what is labor force, what is workforce, what is labor participation rate, what is workforce participation rate, what is unemployment rate, what is marginal unemployment. Okay, all these kind of the technical questions will be asked. Again, there is a correlationship between unemployment and poverty, and also inequality. Okay, poverty is the reason behind unemployment. Do you agree or not? Yes or no? Poverty is the reason behind unemployment. If I am a poor, I won't be accessing with the quality education, quality skill set automatically. If I don't go through with the quality education and quality school, then I won't get the quality employment. Automatically, I will be considered as the unemployed. Now, there is something called Amartya Sen. Someone called Amartya Sen. Who is Amartya Sen? Economist. Got Nobel Prize. Except these two sentences, what else? What else? What did he write? What was his theory? He propagates something about welfare economics. He says something about welfare economics. He speaks something about choices, choice making. He says that choice making is the solution to eradicate the problem, solution to eradicate the poverty. In 2019, there was a person from India who got Nobel Prize, okay, Nobel in economics, who has propagated some methodology to calculate, to reduce the poverty. See what he says that, to reduce the poverty, suppose if I call somebody and ask them to go for the vaccination of the corona. How many did you go through with the first instance for vaccination? First instance. Just after coming the statement of the government. Nobody goes. They will wait. And they will see. And there were some schemes which have been initiated by the government of India for vaccinations of polio. But most of the mothers would not actually go there. Because of this reason, what he has propagated that we should give some offers to them. Whoever gets vaccinated, you will be giving 2 kgs of rice or 2 kgs of the sugar. Then they will come and take the vaccine and also 2 kgs of the rice. These kind of the things would actually help the government to reduce the poverty. These kind of the systems have been initiated by the Banerjee, who got Nobel Prize recently from Indian origin. Now what Amartya Sen says that he speaks something about choice making. Choice making does mean, suppose a girl wants to become politician. Can she be allowed to become the politician? Very rarely. Suppose if you ask your father, Daddy, I wanted to become Group 1 officer, I wanted to go for the coaching. Yes, beta, you can. Okay, let me know how much I should pay. Then again you should say, I wanted to go for the politics, I wanted to join with KCR. Right? You are not allowed actually. Your choices are very limited. The same person, if your brother asks your father, Daddy KTR that నాకు మంచి రిలేషన్ ఉంది, I want to go for politics. Go. నీకేం కావాలో చెప్పంటాడు. Because he has choices. Suppose there is a poor person who wants to study in the best school in the India. Can it be possible? No. Choices are limited. Choices are very limited. Suppose you wanted to become the heroine. You are not allowed. Your choices are very limited. Suppose somebody wants to become hero. Who is allowed? Because the choices of the poor, if I go through with the poor, the choices of the poor are limited, the choices of the rich are unlimited. Because of this reason why poverty occurs. Because of this reason why poverty increases. That is the reason why what Amartya Sen says that the choices should be increased. Then poverty can be eradicated. Choices should mean access to the quality education, affordability of the education, access to the quality health facilities. Majority of the people could die, unfortunately, as there was no access with the proper health facilities during the second wave of the corona, first wave of the corona. Most of the people could carry the oxygen cylinders along with them because they don't have access with the proper facilities. Now what Amartya Sen says that as far as the education is concerned, as far as the health is concerned, as far as the skill set is concerned, if there is an equal access to all the population, then eradication of the poverty will become easy. So these kind of the statements, these kind of the explanations, these kind of the deeper understandings are required as far as the poverty is concerned, as far as the unemployment is concerned. Poverty and unemployment both are cause and consequence to each other. There is something called inequality in India. So these kind of the questions will be asked as part of the poverty is concerned. This is about the second chapter. You need to go through deeper understandings about the poverty, deeper understandings about the unemployment, deeper understanding about the inequality. Then there is a third phenomenon which is also known as the, what is your third chapter? Yes, money and banking. I can also call as the money supply. Then monetary policy. There is something called monetary policy. What is monetary policy? What is? Who formulates the monetary policy? Is it RBI? Now see, RBI does not formulate the monetary policy since 2016. Now the monetary policy is formulated by the MPC. What is MPC? Monetary Policy Committee. Now as far as the money and money supply is concerned, we need to go through with the deeper understanding about what is money. What is money? Which is the most desirable phenomenon of every human being. What is money? How do we define money? How do we define money? Can I call credit card as the money? No. Can I call debit card as the money? Debit card. Suppose if I have the debit card, can I purchase something or not? What is money? Money is simply defined as medium of exchange. Why there was a need of money? To exchange goods to goods, which was also known as the barter system, was very difficult. Then there was a need of evolution of the money. Money is something called medium of exchange. Now I can exchange by using a debit card. Can I call this debit card as the money or not? Credit card. There is a coupon. Can I call this coupon as the money? Check, DD, Paytm cash. Can I call Paytm as the money? No, yes sir. Yes. Can I call gold as the money? Gold. Gold, there is. Can I call platinum as the money? C. Okay. Money is defined very broadly. Definition of the money has broader understandings. Out of money, there are so many kinds of the money. Again, there is something called near money, dear money, fiat money, okay, hard money. Like this, there are so many kinds of the money, credit money. Now, when I enter actually into the money, I should go through with the definition of the money, various kinds of the money. Then I should also go through with the evolution of the money. How money, the present day of the money. There is something called cryptocurrency nowadays. Can we call cryptocurrency as the money? Yes or no? Is it desirable to be recognized by government to call something as money? My question is it desirable by the government to recognize, to call something as the money? No, something, whatever it is, whether it is crypto, whether it is debit card, whether it is something else. Is government recognition required? Yes or no? Are we calling cryptocurrency as the money? Are we calling or not? Yes. Is cryptocurrency recognized by government? Recognized but not authorized. What is recognition and what is authorization? Leave about Indian government. If some money is guaranteed by some other government, suppose there is something called dollar. Can we call this dollar as money in India? Can we buy something by using dollars? No or yes? India means not just physically, through online also. So there are a lot of confusions. Okay. Now, why do we consider cryptocurrency as the money? Does it exist physically? No. Yes or no? No. Still, why do we believe it as the money? Okay. There is something called Bitcoin, there is something called Ethereum, there is something called JetTag, so many. Still, India imposes fine on the cryptocurrency. Imposing fine does not mean making it as the legal. Can I have illegal transactions of cryptocurrency in India now? Government has not recognized. Okay. Government has not denied. Government has not banned. Can I have any transaction? Yes. But you should face the tax. What does this mean? Am I banned? No. Am I allowed? Yes or no? Did government say? These kind of the deeper understandings are required now. What exactly that? That means if I can actually go through with what is money, what is fiat currency, what is authorization, what is guaranteed, okay? Why there is a need of virtual currency, why there is a huge demand to the virtual currency, even though there are existing currencies such as dinar, which is higher than dollar, than rupee. Why government is thinking something about digital currency? Even government wants to bring the digital currency. So what is the currency crisis or currency war which is going on in world? Why there has to be higher price to the dollar? Why should I buy 70 rupees for dollar? What is the need? What is the international currency actually? What was the agreement behind it? These kind of the things we should actually grow. Then we should go through with what is money supply. Okay, what is money supply? What happens when money supply is increased? What happens when money supply is decreased? Why government cannot actually print money without going for borrowing? Now Indian government has borrowed 152 lakh crores. How much? 152 lakh crores of the outstanding liability is there to the India. Why can't I print some money and weave this whole debt? What is stopping me? Inflation increases. Yes. Liquidity increases. Exactly. Now, what is the basis to print some money? Is there any such basis internationally evolved, nationally evolved? What is the basis? Why should I listen World Bank when I have independence? Now see, as far as the printing of money is concerned, leave about this printing of rupee. What is the methodology has been evolved to the printing of dollar? Why dollar is considered to be most ambitious international currency? Why should China accept dollar? Why should India accept dollar? What happens if I don't accept dollar? What happens? Suppose there is someone who sells oil to me. Somebody who buys oil. If there is an agreement between seller and buyer, can I be crossing any international laws? So these kind of the deeper understandings are required. What is money supply? Why there is a hyperinflation in Venezuela, hyperinflation in Vietnam? Why there is a hyperinflation in Sri Lanka? Why they are buying a milk packet with 1,000 rupees? When Venezuela was facing inflation, if they wanted to buy a milk packet, they would bring a truckload of money. Okay, truckload of money తీసుకొస్తే, then they can buy the milk packet. Why this kind of the situation occurs? These kind of the things we should go through. Now, we should also go through with what is the conflict between growth and inflation. What is the conflict between the Finance Ministry and also the Reserve Bank of India? Why Urjit Patel had to resign? What was prompt corrective action? Okay, these kind of the things. I mean, when I come to the fundamentals of the monetary policy, such as what is a monetary policy tool, what is quantitative tool, what is qualitative tool, what is CRR, what is SLR, what is repo, what is reverse repo, what is MSF, what is open market operations, what is margin requirement, okay, what is credit control, what is credit rationing, what is direct control. All these fundamentals we should go through as part of the money and money supply. See, money and money supply is actually a deeper level of understanding about the whole market of India. If you really wanted to understand money and money supply, you should be in a position to understand and comment on every issue which is going on as far as the economy of India is concerned. Okay? Now, there is another thing called the 4th chapter, which is also known as the fiscal policy or public finance. What is fiscal policy? we have something called the budget. Okay, what is budget? Budget does mean it is an estimation of upcoming financial year expenditure as well as the income, which is also known as the receipt. Now we should go through with what exactly the fiscal policy, what are the objectives of fiscal policy, what are the objectives of monetary policy, why there is a need to present budget to the parliament. Now budget session is going on in India. Why there has to be such a session? Recently, Telangana government has presented budget to the assembly without governor's speech. Is it unconstitutional? If somebody is acting unconstitutional, he will be removed, right? Okay, now KCR is acting against constitution. Is it? See, if somebody violating constitution, then he'll be sent to jail. He'll be sent to jail. Article 265 or Article 365. Sorry, Article 365 says that if somebody is violating constitution, then the presidential rule can be imposed. So, is it unconstitutional? Presenting budget only in the presence of governor? See, there are some deeper understandings. Okay, there is something called summoning. What is summoning? Calling a session, starting a session. There is something called prorogation. Prorogation does mean ending a particular session. So government of Telangana has summoned a session, okay, and which has not been ended. Only when there is a starting of session, governor's speech is required. Now the recent session was the continuation of the started session, not the fresh session. Then governor's speech is not required. That means you will be asked regarding whether the speech of the President of India, whether the speech of the governor is compulsory before the presentation of the budget. This will be your polity plus economy question. Now there is another question. Is it guaranteed or is it compulsory that the finance minister of the state should present the budget or any other minister? Who is responsible to present budget in the parliament? So it is not the finance minister, it is the President of India who is responsible. On behalf of the President of India, normally, traditionally, finance minister presents. Otherwise, any other minister can also present. For example, in Telangana, there is Vemula Prashant Reddy, who is the Minister for Roads and Buildings, has presented budget to the council. Suppose Harish Rao got ill, and sick and ankondi, inga budget apestara? Appude kotta minister testara? No. It is the governor who is responsible to present budget to the assembly. On behalf of the governor, any minister can present budget. See, whenever you are preparing for the mains, you should go through with the reference of the constitution, not about the general sayings. Okay? Mostly the general saying or the traditional saying is only finance minister is responsible to present the budget. No. President of India is caused to be laid down the annual financial statement in the parliament. Is the constitutional obligation. So these kind of the things we should go through, and we should also go through with what is revenue, what is capital, what is revenue deficit, what is fiscal deficit, what is primary deficit, what is monetized deficit, what is capital expenditure, what is revenue expenditure, What are the objectives of fiscal policy? What are the objectives of monetary policy? Difference between objectives of the fiscal policy as well as the monetary policy. These kind of the conceptual clarity we should go through as far as the fiscal policy and monetary policy is concerned. If you can go through with the previous year questions of public finance, most of the questions on public finance will be on the deficits. What is revenue deficit? What is fiscal deficit? What is primary deficit? What are the trends of these deficits for last 2 years, for the last 3 years? And most of the questions will be on the basis of the FRBM Act. What is FRBM Act? So Budget Management Act. Now, Telangana government says that we are under FRBM limit, and most of the states are requesting to increase the FRBM limit. What exactly it says? Atlem ledo. It can also be increased. Now fiscal deficit has gone to 4% limit. Last year it has been increased to 5% also. In what circumstances it can be increased? And what are the rules to the Indian government? What are the rules to the state governments? What is debt to GSDP ratio? What is debt to GDP ratio? Okay, these kind of the questions will be asked, and you will be asked regarding, so what happens when revenue expenditure is increased? Now if I can go through with the status of Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh has been struggling with the revenue deficit. When Andhra Pradesh is struggling with the revenue deficit, Telangana is having revenue surplus. Even this year also Telangana is having around 2,700 of the revenue surplus. Now, when revenue surplus is there, when revenue deficit is there, at both the instances, the fiscal deficit of the states are getting increased. Is there any need to control the revenue expenditure? This kind of the deeper understanding, because just because there is revenue surplus, that doesn't mean the country or a particular state is having fiscal prudence or fiscal discipline. That doesn't mean fiscal discipline, because even the debt of the AP and Telangana are almost same. Telangana's budgeted deficit is almost 3.39 lakh crores. Our budget liabilities are around 1.44 lakh crores, which is around 5 lakh crores. The same debt is also there to the AP. Okay, now we should go through with the deeper understanding about this public finance and the rules, ideal rules of the spending. How exactly the government should spend. How exactly the government should spend. Now we speak something about why should some money be spent on the Yadadri instead of spending money on the schools. Because Constitution says the state should be separated from the religion. Suppose if I say this particular sentence. Now you will be asked to discuss about this in mains. Now we should write about the ideal spendings of the expenditure or the ideal spending of the states. You should be having the ideal theories or ideal models to spend. Suppose a particular state says, suppose AP is facing so much of revenue deficit, but still it says that there are freebies. Now we want to implement Navaratnalu. Now Telangana government is bringing 52,000 crores in the form of borrowings. Still I say that I am building a particular multi-purpose irrigation project. How can it be justified actually? How do you justify the government? How do you justify the spending patterns of a particular state? Okay, these kind of the things will be asked as part of the fiscal policy and public finance. There is the last chapter, which is also known as the Planning and Niti Ayog. Planning and Niti Ayog, which is also most important chapter. Okay, is Niti Ayog constitutional body or statutory body? Is Planning Commission of India constitutional body or statutory body? Any other answer? What is statutory body? Any other answer? Now see, if some law is made in the parliament and any institution is enacted or established, then it is what is known as the statutory body. Okay, statutory body means there has to be an act. If there is no act, something is established through the executive resolution. Executive resolution means giving a GO. Then it is what is known as the non-statutory body. And also non-constitutional body, which can also be called as the neither constitutional nor statutory. Whether it is Planning Commission of India, whether it is Niti Aayog, both are extra constitutional. I can also call as the advisory bodies, or neither constitutional nor statutory. Statutory does mean there has to be an act. For example, there is something called National Commission for Women, which is a statutory body. Okay? And State Information Commission, Central Information Commission is a statutory body. And there is something called constitutional body also. What is constitutional body? Yeah, something has to be mentioned in the constitution itself. There has to be an article attached to it. UPSC, constitutional body. CAG, constitutional body. Okay? Election Commission of India, constitutional body. National Commission for SCs, under Article 338, constitutional body. National Commission for STs, under Article 339A, 338A, constitutional body. CAG, under Article 148. Okay, Election Commission of India, under Article T24. Okay, GST Council, under Article 279A. All these things are called as the constitutional bodies. Constitutional bodies are the bodies which have been actually exclusively mentioned in the Constitution. Now, Planning Commission of India has been removed. Now we should study about why there was a need of Planning Commission of India. Why India has established this particular institution as neither constitutional nor statutory body. Next, what are the objectives of Planning Commission of India? Why there was a need of National Development Council? What is the strategy of India's planning process? And what happened during all these 12 5-year plans? What is the review on the 12 5-year plans? This will be asked in your exam. Then why there was a need of abolition of the Planning Commission of India? Why there was a need of establishing a new body called Niti Aayog? And how Niti Aayog is different from the Planning Commission of India as far as the objectives are concerned, as far as the powers are concerned, as far as the financial powers are concerned, as far as the engagement with the policies are concerned, as far as the execution of the policies are concerned. And why there was a need of the plan, and why there is no plan now. Now there is no 13th 5-year plan. Why? These kind of the questions will be asked, and besides all these things you will be asked regarding the basic questions like the composition of the Niti Aayog. Composition means who is the chairman, who is the vice chairman, who is the CEO, who is the permanent member, who is the part-time member, who is the expert. All these kind of the basic questions will also be asked. And you will be asked regarding the indexes released by the Niti Aayog. Regularly Niti Aayog releases the indexes. You need to go through with the indexes. Okay. So like this, the basic questions will be asked as part of the Indian economy. What my suggestion is, whenever you read a particular phenomenon, read with extreme clarity. Extreme conceptual clarity I am speaking about. You will be reading about money and money supply. After reading every phenomenon, after reading the whole chapter, then if I ask you what is money, then you will not be in a position to say what is money. That is the reason why every conceptual clarity is much needed as far as the Indian economy is concerned. There are 5 chapters which are cakewalk for any particular aspirant if you generally go through with the conceptual clarity. Conceptual clarity means you should be in a position to define. If I ask you what is poverty, You should be in a position to write about at least 150 words about the definition of the poverty. Then you are ready to write the mains exam. If I ask you write something about GDP in 150 words, without mentioning any waste word, you should be in a position to write about the GDP. If I ask you something about the objectives of the fiscal policy, you should not roam around the bush. Remember this, as far as the mains is concerned. You should come to the straight away point. Suppose if I ask you something about, write about agriculture of the India. What is your first sentence? Agriculture is the backbone of the Indian economy, is the first sentence. It is the livelihood of majority of the population in India, is the second sentence. Agriculture is the basis for the industrial sector, third sentence. Yes or no? What is your fourth statement? See, these kind of the traditionally muted sentences are actually do not give you marks. Because if I evaluate your paper, if you write agriculture is the backbone, then I should think, how does it become backbone? It is a third class, fourth class introduction. If you can go through with the fourth class textbook, same sentence will be there. Then how do you expect to become group 1 officer by writing fourth class paragraph? Do you really expect just by writing fourth class paragraph you are getting group 1 job? No. You are supposed to be different. You are supposed to be authentic. Whenever you are writing something, you should give some evidence. Evidence does mean, what is evidence? Official source. Suppose if I speak about the present ongoing crisis of the Telangana government and Indian government, what is the most controversial issue which is going on? ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నారండి? Government of Telangana says you should buy the paddy or boiled rice. What is government of Telangana's demand? What is being said by union government? Now my purpose is, you should not go through with the traditional discussion. You should go through with the adequate discussion. Now suppose if I wanted to support the Telangana government as far as this particular issue is concerned, then what are my substantial evidences? How do I actually give some evidence or give some argument to support the decision of the government? This is where you should work. What is your supporting argument? How do you support? Both are governments. Both union government as well as the state government. You should not speak something about against the government, but still you can actually support with the substantial evidence. Now what is your supporting point? Tell me one point. Don't speak like TRS. Speak like group 1 officer. How do you support? Now we should go through what is being actually discussed by the Telangana ministers on this particular issue. Not the popular headings. Now yesterday, so during this particular press meet in Delhi by Niranjan Reddy, he speaks that we had an agreement between FCI and government of Telangana. In that, it has been written that procurement of paddy. There is a word called procurement of paddy. What is paddy does mean? The raw particular phenomenon. Yes, not the rice. Now government says that we will give you paddy. You make it as boiled rice or you make it as the raw rice. We don't bother about it. But you must buy the paddy in accordance with the agreement made in between FCI and government of Telangana. This is how we should give evidences. That is the reason why, as far as the mains is concerned, you should go through with the exact sentence which you are writing, okay, and you should support your statements only by having the evidences. That is the reason why writing about the mains, preparing about the mains does mean going with the authentic definitions, going with the authentic data, and forgetting about the traditionally written sentences, gathering most of the evidences, most of the substantial evidences, okay, will be possible only when you know about the basics. Okay, that is the reason why from today onwards go through with the newspaper. Okay, mostly I can suggest you go through with the Hindu. There was a news day before yesterday about the gas price hike. So in the headings it has been given that how gas price is actually increased. What are the ingredients in the fixation of the gas price? What is distributor price? What is distributor commission? What is central excise duty? What is state VAT? And what is the total price available? These kind of the technicalities you should read as part of your newspaper. Okay, so start reading newspaper from today onwards. Go with the backward preparation, knowing about the basics. Okay, and also go through with the basics, very basics. And also the most important point to succeed in the mains is writing. If there are 5 success keywords to succeed in mains, all the 5 are writing only. Okay, writing. ఇప్పుడు నేను డ్రైవింగ్ ఎట్లా చేయాలనేది బాగా నేర్చుకుంటా, యూట్యూబ్లో చూసి నేర్చుకుంటా, పక్కోళ్ళు చెప్తారు. ఓకే, అన్ని రూల్స్ నేర్చుకుంటా. ఈజ్ ఇట్ పాసిబుల్ టు డ్రైవ్ కార్ జస్ట్ బై నోయింగ్ రైటింగ్ ప్రాపర్ నోట్స్ అండ్ ఆల్? నో, అన్లెస్ యూ గో త్రూ విత్ ద ఆన్ రోడ్, అక్కడ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తేనే యూ కెన్ డ్రైవ్. మెయిన్స్ కూడా అంతే. Just because knowing the rules and regulations, just because knowing the body, conclusion, introduction, okay, just by knowing some matter about a particular phenomenon does not give you mains. Start writing even without knowing anything. Start writing on your general matters, such as write about your school, write about your father, write about your KCR, write about your favorite hero, anything. Start writing and check yourself. Take previous year questions, start writing, check yourself and check how many marks you can actually allocate out of 10. Suppose if I ask you to write about what is Telangana, what do you write? What is your first sentence about Telangana? This is where you should actually think. What is your first sentence? What is Telangana? Write in 50 words. Now you wanted to make it to be explained to the foreigner in 50 words. How do you explain? What is your most important sentence that can be written as part of the first sentence? You should make it to be understood to the foreigner. How do you write? This is where your preparation should start. What do you write? You all know about Telangana, right? You all know about Telangana. You all are born in Telangana. But still, it would be very difficult to write in mains. What is your first sentence? Tell me. Telangana is part of India. Is it right or wrong? Telangana Formation Day was on 2nd June 2014. It has been completed 7.5 years. Now KCR has become second time CM. KTR also would like to become CM. What do you write actually? Okay. Bangaru Telangana. Now Vajrala Telangana. What do you write? This is where you should think as far as the mains is concerned. For prelims you shouldn't think. But for mains, suppose if I ask to write about your father in 50 words, how do you start? My father was a child in 1990s, can become middle-aged, okay, could get job. Are these words you would like to write? What do you write? My father is a lovable personality. See, now whenever you wanted to write something, whenever you wanted to start writing something, you should think about your target people. You should think about your target people. This is what your first question, first phenomenon, first rule. Suppose what is Telangana is your question. Your target people is 3rd class student. then your writing style will be different. If your audience or if your target people are general citizens of the India, then your target is different. Suppose if your target people are IAS officers, then your writing style would be different. That is the reason why whenever you are writing a particular answer, think about your target. Suppose if I wanted to write something about the youth కోసం తెలంగాణ గురించి రాయాలనుకోండి, then how do I write? The employees of some other state, or if I wanted to write something to squeeze the investments into Telangana, investments kavali naaku, then who is my target people? Investors. Then what do I write about the investors as far as the Telangana is concerned? These kind of the things. So like that, there are so many techniques to write mails, okay, to simplify your mails. Okay, we'll be dealing all these techniques also. We'll be taking questions. Okay, so how do you exactly want? Do you want this conceptual phenomenon or taking a question and explaining the question? So we will go through with the Telangana economy also. Okay, so almost Telangana economy takes at least 40 to 1 hour. Okay, we'll deal in some other time. Okay, I am expertised in Telangana economy than in Indian economy. We'll be dealing in Telangana economy. I'll be bringing my book also, Telangana economy, in 2-3 days. That will be released in market. Okay, so that is going to be one of the benchmark for Telangana economy. Okay, so you need not worry about the Telangana economy and also part 3 and also Indian economy. Okay, so any other doubts would you like to ask? For group 2, so except this fiscal policy, monetary policy, all the chapters are there. The basic difference between group 1 and group 2 is group 1 you should keep on writing. Okay, group 2 you should keep on reading. Subtopics are same. Okay, national income is same to both group 2 and group 1. Okay, yes, in group 1 you should learn more deeper phenomena and also practicing. Okay, current affairs you should read newspaper every day, go through with the backward preparation. Okay, as part of our classroom we will be discussing everyday current affairs. No, read Hindu paper first. What is your source? Source of information to the vision comes from where? The Hindu only, right? Read Hindu. Why do you worry so much which has been manufactured by only few phenomena? See, when you go through with Vision IAS or any other material, okay, you can go through with the Vision material or any other material of current affairs only with the last resort, not as the first resort. Your first source is newspaper. Go through with the newspaper. Every newspaper contains around 20 pages and per day you have been given 20 pages with high graphics, with high content. Vision IAS paper మొత్తం కలిపితే ఎంత ఉంటుంది? 100 pages ఉంటుంది 6 months కి. Okay, go through with your visualization. Mind remembers visuals, not about text. Okay, any other questions? ఇప్పటికీ ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీ కోసం శంకర్ గణేశన్ తీసుకోండి, బేసిక్స్. Okay, so once we go through with the classroom session, then we'll let you know. Okay, for basics, one is Economy Key Concept by Shankar Ganeshan, very basic book. Then NCERT 12th class, Macro Economy. ఈ 2 books తీసుకోండి, మిగతా నేను చెప్తాను మీకు. ఓకే, డోంట్ రీడ్ మచ్ మెనీ బుక్స్. ఓకే, మెనీ మెటీరియల్స్. రీడ్ one single book. Okay, and read repeatedly. We'll let you know. So what you should go through with the, and I'll be giving material as per as the national income, as per as the Indian economy is concerned, as the Telangana and developmental economy is concerned. We'll be giving printed material and also classroom material also. Any other doubts? Okay, then we'll meet in the next class. Okay, so any other doubts, మీకు ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్లో చెప్పండి. ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఎందుకు తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీ కావాలా మీకు? మీ ఇష్టం. ఓకే, మీకు మొత్తం బేసిక్స్ తెలియాలనుకోండి, దెన్ విల్ గో త్రూ విత్ ద ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీ. ఓకే, కొంచెం బేసిక్స్ తెలుసు, మాకు తెలంగాణ గురించి కూడా కొంచెం తెలుసు, తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్ తెలుసు మాకు అనుకుంటే, దెన్ విల్ గో త్రూ విత్ ద తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీ. ఇప్పుడు తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీలో ఏంటండి? తెలుగు అకాడమీ ప్లస్ ఎకనామిక్ సర్వే. ఓకే, ఈ రెండు కలిపి చదివితే మీకు తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీ అర్థమవుతుంది. బట్ స్టిల్ తెలుగు అకాడమీ చదివినంత మాత్రం మీకు తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీ అర్థం కాదు. ఓకే, సో టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద ఫస్ట్ చాప్టర్ యూ షుడ్ గో త్రూ విత్ ద హోల్ తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్. ఓకే, ఏది లింక్ ఉండదండి. తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీలో the first chapter of the Telangana economy is the Telangana economy in Hyderabad state. First subtopic. You should know about what is Hyderabad state. Then the second subtopic is Telangana economy in United Andhra Pradesh. The third subtopic is deprivation in water, deprivation in employment, deprivation in funds. This is entirely different. Even second chapter speaks about the land reforms, which is also an entirely different phenomenon. Second chapter is about the human resources of Telangana, then third one is the land reforms. Fourth chapter, agriculture and allied sectors, which is not part of Indian economy. Fifth chapter is industrial sector and service sector, which is also not part of your Indian economy, which is an entirely different phenomenon, which is an entirely different flavor. There will not be any relationship with the Telangana economy and Indian economy. For AP, there are so many relations, but as far as the Telangana is concerned, you should have the Telangana mind, you should have the Telangana heart, you should have the Telangana flavor, then you can understand Telangana movement and Telangana economy. Even the teacher should have the Telangana heart. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to explain about the Telangana economy. Okay, నాకు వేరే మైండ్ ఉందనుకోండి, తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీ నేను చెప్పలేను. Because the whole first chapter revolves around injustice done to the Telangana, deprivation done to the Telangana, okay, inadequacy policies of the Telangana, how Telangana people have been deprived, how Telangana people have been discriminated, how Telangana state has been discriminated, how Telangana people have been bluffed. ఇవన్నీ చెప్పాలంటే ఈ గుండె ఉండాలి. Okay, we will discuss, no problem. Okay, so I'll be giving you all the linkages. Okay, once you listen our class, as far as the mains or preliminary is concerned, you'll be in a position to write any particular answer. Okay, I have 10 years of experience in Ashok Nagar. Okay, need not worry. Okay, any other doubts? As far as the economy is concerned, you need not worry, whether it is Indian, whether it is Telangana. Okay, okay, then yeah, గ్రూప్ 1 ఇప్పుడు 2 రోజులలో వస్తుందండి, ఉగాదికి ఇస్తా అంటున్నాడు. ఐ స్పోక్ విత్ ఎ మినిస్టర్ లాస్ట్ నైట్. ఓకే, రావచ్చు కూడా, టైం ఉంది మీకు, అన్నీ అయిపోతాయి.